All right. A very good afternoon to everyone, and very warm welcome to our roundtable on putting the national unity blueprint to action. We applaud the government's initiative for launching the blueprint on the 15th of February of this year. And it's a very timely event as we want to resolve the many national unity and cohesion matters in this country. And we are very thankful that you've taken out your time to be with us, because what you need is ideas, not so much in theory, but more in pragmatic and actionable ideas. So for this, we are very thankful for all of you for joining us, and we look forward to very engaging discussion later on during the breakout rooms. But before we start off, I'd like to first invite Tan Sri Michael Yeoh, who's the president of KSI Strategic Institute for Asia Pacific, to give his welcome remarks and to start off the roundtable. Tan Sri. Wrong country, sorry.
Yang Berhormat Senator Dato Lian, Deputy Minister of National Unity, Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Dr. Omar Abdul Rahman, the founder and chairman of Dialog Rakyat, Tan Sri Dato, and participants. We are very delighted to have all of you to join with us at this roundtable discussion online. In particular, we are very grateful to have Deputy Minister Yang Berhormat Senator Dato Sri D to be with us to give us a keynote address and to share some insights on the National Unity Blueprint. There are some of us who have been involved in the predecessor to the National Unity Advisory Council, the NUCC, that was formed many years ago, where we had people like Dr. Dennison and myself who were serving on the NUCC. And that was when we first conceptualized a need for a national unity plan for the country. Unfortunately, that didn't see light before the change of government. And we are delighted now that the new government has decided to implement and to announce this new national unity blueprint. So we are grateful to have the national unity blueprint now publicized and made public. But I think what is important is to ensure that there is effective implementation. Execution is always the issue, the problem in any government plans and blueprint. And like in the past experience, we must ensure that there is effective and just implementation of all the different plans that the government has announced. What is also, I think, important is that we look at having some form of monitoring mechanism, because as part of the process of implementation, there is a need to also monitor how the plan and various programs are being implemented. And I do hope that during the discussion this afternoon, where we are hoping to be able to see how we can actualize the blueprint and how different organizations, including individual citizens, can work together to see how we can contribute to the achievement of this unity blueprint and to ensure that we are able to work towards effective implementation, effective monitoring, and also to ensure that the whole country comes together, because at the end of the day, unity is most important. And what we are particularly also very impressed with this blueprint is the focus on the Rukun Negara and the Federal Constitution, which is essential. These are the essential building blocks for Malaysia to be built upon and to be founded, and the continuing focus on Rukun Negara and the Constitution are very basic, very important stepping stones for us to move forward. So I'm grateful that all of you are able to be here. We are very pleased that Tan Sri Omar, the chairman of Dialog Rakyat, continues to be so passionate about achieving unity, about forging dialogues with different groups, and ensuring that together we can work for a better future for ourselves, for our nation, and for our children. Sekian, terima kasih.
Thank you very much, Tan Sri Michael, for a very apt and timely introductory remark. Next, I'd like to invite Tan Sri Omar Abdul Rahman, who is the chairman of Dialog Rakyat, And just a little bit of context about what Dialog Rakyat is. We were a coalition of several NGOs and CSOs coming together who are very keen and passionate about national unity matters. And we were founded just, how many years is that now? 5 years ago, and still going strong. And I'll probably leave Tan Sri Omar to explain a little bit about what we are, what kind of causes we are representing. And yeah, without further ado, I'd like to just hand over the floor to Tan Sri Omar Abdul.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, maybe Tan Sri T. And as coming from Dialog Rakyat, we are very happy for this opportunity to look at the blueprint for national unity. And more than that is trying to put the blueprint to action, especially from the point of view of what Dialog Rakyat can do. But before we do that, let me just quickly go over what is Dialog Rakyat and what we have done since then. I think a group of people concerned about threats to national unity and social harmony happening in our country came together in 2016 to see what we can do as an individual and as a group, rather than just venting our frustration and blaming politicians and other people. And we decided that we need to establish a platform and a certain principle to see on what basis we can start citizen action to promote national unity, national cohesion, and unity. So what we did was to establish the first Dialog Rakyat in December 2016. And the organizers for this, there were individuals representing, first of all, Asli. Asli was part of us in the beginning. There was PICO, there was Page, there was mine, National Building School, G25, INSA, Yayasan Perpaduan Malaysia, NCWO, and now, of course, KSI is part of our group. As a matter of fact, providing the secretariat to the Dialog Rakyat. And the first dialogue on December 3rd, 2016, our objective was to establish a platform for promoting national cohesion and unity, to establish unifying principles for community development based on the ethos and practices of smart partnership. I do not know whether any of you remember, we introduced to the world the concept of smart partnership at the Langkawi International Dialogue way back in 1995. And then during that December 2016 meeting, we also wanted to formulate and to launch what we call Dialog Rakyat Code of Ethical Conduct. And during 2017 to 2019, 8 Dialog Rakyat were convened to promote the Code of Ethical Conduct and to translate that Code of Ethical Conduct into what we call actionable practices at individual level, among school communities, among university communities, and among neighborhood communities, meaning residents association and rukun tetangga. Now, I think we have circulated, Board has circulated to all participants the code of ethical conduct. Now, over the many dialogues that we have, we have come up with a concept of harmony muscle. And so I just want to say a little bit about what is harmony muscle principles and practice. You can see this on the screen. What is harmony musra? Simply recognizing the importance of and the need to increase harmony moments. We always thought that there is no problem in our country because we always come together to celebrate our respective festival. We come together to support Malaysia in during sports tournament. We sit together to eat busangking, but those are only short-term social events which we shall call harmony moment. And we need more of those, and we need new ways of bringing people together for the harmony moments. But we need to strengthen the harmony moment with something which will provide longer lasting bonding. So to do that, we thought we need to enhance the benefit of harmony moments by installing the rational elements through meetings and discussions and other meanings to promote the understanding of our national heritage, our cultures, our values, and our national aspiration. And then to introduce rituals or instruments that inspire emotional attachment to sing Harmony Musra. Do we have a song called Harmony Musra Saling Hormati? We can play that for you later on. These are just examples of the things that we can use as symbol to strengthen harmony moment. And then to strengthen the social with the rational and the emotional elements to establish strong bonding and spirit of goodwill among the citizens of Malaysia. Now, what is the code of ethical conduct? Or what is the tata peradaban for harmony musra? It is, of course, the code of ethical conduct. And we thought the way to implement this is through the ACCA+E framework, which is, of course, creating awareness, facilitating comprehension or understanding, encouraging commitment, urging appropriate action, and of course, to evaluate how effective is our action. Now, so based on that, Dialog Rakyat mission now, there are two prongs. One, to nurture harmony musra generation for Malaysia, which is to focus on the younger generation. This is our dialogue in schools and our dialogue at the university level. But we have stopped doing that when there was the change of government and when, of course, COVID-19 came in. We hope to continue to promote to nurture harmony musra among generation from Malaysia, and we are exploring opportunities to work with the schools and the universities. The second one is promoting harmony musra Malaysian communities, which is to focus on the current generation, the neighborhood communities. And I thought this is something that we can do to implement the blueprint. Now, to conclude, just may say this: the blueprint objective are very similar with the Dialog Rakyat's overall objectives. The blueprint action plan to strengthen national unity and integration based on the federal constitution on Rukun Negara. Actually, we have been working along what Rukun Negara has been promoted, because the code of ethical conduct is in effect an elaboration of Rukun Negara's fifth principle, ethical behavior and morality, which supports the first and fourth objectives, achieving greater unity of its people, ensuring a liberal approach to the country's rich and diverse cultural tradition. Dialog Rakyat has therefore been diligently promoting the objective and the principle of Rukun Negara with respect to national unity and social harmony. So for me, it will be very useful for Dialog Rakyat. We can explore and identify which of the blueprint strategies, and just a list here of the strategies which can be put into action through the Dialog Rakyat harmony musra principles and practices. We will probably be looking at that during our general discussion later on, in addition to other ideas coming from participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tan Sri, for setting up the stage for a very engaging discussion later on. And yes, I believe many of the things that we are going to discuss actually they match a lot of the things that Harmony Mesra concept has already outlined. But I think we could do it much more, many more ideas and many more thoughts from participants from the ground. So without further ado, I would now like to invite Yang Berhormat Senator Dato Lian, who is the Deputy Minister of National Unity of Malaysia, to present his welcome remarks. And before he begins, I would like to say on behalf of all of us, we are very thankful to YD for joining us today, and the support from YD is very meaningful, and we really appreciate the time that you've given to us. So YD, the floor is yours. Kindly unmute your microphone first before you start, yeah?
All right, thank you. Professor Emeritus Tan Sri Muhammad Anasti Omar Abdul Rahman, Chairman of Dialog Rakyat, and distinguished fellow at KSI, Tan Sri Michael Yeoh, President of KSI Strategic Institute for Asia Pacific, member organizations of Dialog Rakyat, distinguished participants, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. Before I start, I'm very happy that we are able to meet today, and actually it's very timely, especially we have just launched the National Blueprint and National Dasar Perpaduan. It is very much behind time. People have been talking about unity. The government is talking about unity. We used to have a unity ministry many years back after May 13, but it didn't last for one term. I think only about a few years later subsequently. Unity is not a ministry, it has been a department. And today we have unity as a ministry, and the unity agenda has been empowered. And over we have put in, instead of just doing the talk, we have put in as a policy in a book, recorded and documented. And like Rukun Negara, Perlembagaan, this is another stage forward. And the next, we are going to talk about how to empower our Rukun Negara, our Rukun Tetangga. We have about 9,000 Rukun Tetangga, whereby everybody can participate. We then don't actually have to form new NGOs, but it's good to have new NGOs to assist. But we have an existing KRT that has a lot of potential, a lot of outreach, and it's easier now that we have a lot of we can do through the IT. We do not have to be physically present. We can talk, eat, and drink unity. I think this, but somehow the ministry needs many participants. We appreciate NGOs like Dialog Rakyat, KSI, and many other organizations should come forward and assist, help us. The next stage we will be talking about how to rebrand Rukun KRT. KRT, because KRT we have Jiran Nita that covers the Wanita. We have Jiran Muda that covers the youth, and all these they are there. It's a question of how do we engage them, how we do make them more powerful. And after that, we have one more stage to go. First, the Dasar Blueprint, the empowerment of KRT. The third stage will be Plan Tindakan Perpaduan Negara, which is under way, and it will be launched by Tuli Yang Maha Mulia Tuanku Agung. So we hope that we can cultivate, we can create more interest and more people to understand the need, not only talking about unity, but to practice unity and be vigilant to assist, to check on forces that may threaten our unity that has been cultivated through a lot of tolerance, a lot of harmonization, a lot of give and take. Ladies and gentlemen, the national blueprint aspires to build a patriotic and democratic nation, build national identity, and strengthen the unity ecosystem. It is a very comprehensive document that would be the basis of the government's policy direction for the next 10 years, and one that has taken into consideration feedbacks of over 55,000 public feedbacks. And the 12 strategies in the blueprint are actually aimed at tangible outcomes. Unity is intangible. We can talk and talk about unity, we can write about unity, but we need to bring the unity agenda, the spirit, the intent, the political view that can be converted into tangible actions, words, speech, and conversations on unity. In particular, a more holistic education system that promotes unity, a society that thrives on its inherent diversity instead of exploiting the diversity by community building and internationalization. The goal of the National Unity Blueprint is actually to strengthen Malaysian unity that has been forged for decades through mutual respect, tolerance, and a collective desire for peace and harmony. The blueprint presents aspiration with workable strategies that seek to ensure sustainable community building and social cohesion. But this is not enough. We need people to come forward and generously guard our unity that we have cultivated, to passionately protect our national unity from being torn apart, and vigilantly suppress any extremism that threatens the fabric that holds our nation together. And more so, the social media allows haters to let go their anger, their hateful, through hateful speech, etc. And this somehow has also further deteriorates the strength and the unity that we have, because the social media facilitates haters from expressing, and the moderates are the people who love unity. We do not respond passionately to ensure that these haters, these extremists do not prevail. The blueprint actually presents the aspiration and the workable strategies that seek to ensure more sustainable community building and social cohesion. It provides a solid framework and clearly laid out plan to achieve national aspirations for unity. It is pivotal. The end justifies the means. There must be the political that threatens national unity. This includes eliminating prejudice on an individual and society level, eradicating bias, and addressing ethnic or race-related misconception or misperceptions. It is often distressing to acknowledge that unity, a concept and way of life that takes years to cultivate, is still fragile and volatile in our country. Ironically, as it may seem, unity is something that reflects strength and can hold fracture at the slightest provocation. One such incitement is the hate speech that is available and getting more prevalent of late. Somehow, an individual make a speech, may he be a Chinese, Malay, or an Indian, people will look at him or this. If it's a Chinese, the Chinese are saying this, the Malays are saying this. Extremism begets extremism. And there is reaction from others. And they look at the speaker without identifying the community. His speech is personal to him. He needs re-education. It needs to be remedied. Hate speech has proven to be the bane of the society, effects of which have been trickled down to the young minds of Malaysia. Fulfilling the goals of the blueprint without addressing such a pertinent issue is rendered useless, considering the broad long-term objectives of the national blueprint. The harmful effects of hate speech must be better recognized by society as something that can be collectively controlled and tackled and ousted if we all work together. On the subject of the importance of national language and ethnic languages, We must remember that in Malaysia, everyone has the freedom to converse, learn and propagate their ethnic languages. We see this also in the form of vernacular schools in Malaysia. As Malaysians, we are proud of our heritage, our mother tongue and culture, and also our national identity and national language. The promotion of the national language and also ethnic mother tongue is a significant part of the blueprint. We hope that this will put to rest any other political rhetorics along racial line or being capitalized by politicians. This is an issue that has been settled and has been successfully implemented for over many decades since independence. It did not divide the society, but it brings the society together more cohesively. Here, one must remember that the aim is to promote togetherness, the interest to learn about other cultures, and to inculcate the importance of speaking in one language to the other. This initiative has the potential to blur the lines of the notion that you and I are different. Thoughts often viewed in a very negative light. The blueprint also solidifies the importance of the Rukun Negara, and the vision is to weave its principles into our daily lives, professions, and education. The role of academicians in this aspect is crucial with their propagation of the elements, interpretation, and the true essence of the Rukun Negara. Academic debate, writings, lectures will accentuate the importance of Rukun Negara, and this is in line with the objectives of the blueprint. And NGO can also assist our club Rukun Negara and also our secretariat Rukun Negara in the primary school, secondary school, and the tertiary institution. The role of the media in these efforts is indispensable as it provides a sort of subliminal messaging to the citizens. It is not unlike the phenomenon of banner nationalism that we see in the form of our flags, national coat of arms, national song, etc. For example, on the national radio, we listen to the Rukun Negara song every hour of every day. These efforts have the potential of instilling a sense of patriotism in each citizen. Understanding Malaysian history through media, through education, through engagement, through conversation, and through is also crucial. Again, this allows for an overall appreciation of the independence struggle, the contribution of our ancestors and freedom fighters. The blueprint will also encourage the sharing of human stories to understand how each Malaysian had a role to play in nation building, whether it has to do with business, agriculture, or administration. I believe enterprise that have interracial communication and with success stories to tell. So if we can highlight these stories to help us to ensure diversity, it is also pivotal that we recognize the role of the creative industry in the national unity agenda. The creative industry has an immensely significant part to play based on our national blueprint, whether in the form of collaborative movie making, theater, or arts. Citizens will benefit from mutual learning, respect for diversity within the creative arts, and this not only holds the skills of the people, but also ensure that these creative arts and heritage are not lost in our everyday life. Hence, creative arts in unity building serves a dual purpose and creates a more wholesome way of strengthening community building. I would like to thank Dialog Rakyat and KSI for inviting me to give an opening address at this event. It is, in my opinion, a timely and important discussion. From the Unity Ministry myself, I have seen firsthand how dedicated the Malaysian people are to further this unity agenda. And now that the government has empowered this agenda under the ministry, we hope to have more stakeholders, more partners coming forward and assist us to put the unity in our agenda and awareness in our everyday life. NGOs, civil society, the private sector, and grassroots organizations have been committed to working to this blueprint. And to me, this is half the job already done. It reinforces the fact that Malaysians do truly believe in unity, do really want to achieve a united nation and the togetherness in order to have a better tomorrow and a better way, a smoother way forward. Thank you so much